Hi, everybody. Hi. Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome. How are you? Hope everybody is doing well today. Hi, everybody. Welcome aboard. Hope you are all well. While I wait for everybody to come join us, let's see. Today's question of the week is what chore do you actually enjoy? What chore do you actually enjoy? Is there a chore that other people consider like a chore that you actually enjoy? Just something to think about. Hey, everybody. Hey, Jan and Julie and Margaret. Welcome on board. What chore do you actually enjoy? Like, what's something you enjoy doing that other people find a chore? Okay, Julie likes loading the dishwasher. I like unloading the dishwasher. So, Julie, together, you and I are a pair. Holly loves vacuuming. Yeah, what's a chore that you love that other people find to be choresome? Choresome, that's the word. Okay, cooking. Becca, you can have that. Laura likes doing laundry. No, I can't. I don't mind doing the laundry, but folding it and taking it out, I can't. Mowing, I love it. Just riding out, listen to some music, podcast. Making the bed. Oh, Margaret, you can come make my bed. God. I make my bed every morning, but actually taking the sheets off and and I have one of those duvet cover things and it's a thing. So what chore do you love doing? Anytime Jan will come clean your house, it sounds like. So love to hear from all of you and what's going on in your life. Folding is the best. No, folding is not the best. Laura. Oh no, grocery shopping. Oh my God. I miss Instacart. That's one of the things we don't have here that I miss. So I miss grocery delivery services. Even when they got my order wrong, sometimes it was still better than going grocery shopping. I think grocery shopping can be overwhelming in the States. So, Bridget likes cleaning the stove. What up, Bridget? All right now. Nobody has said cleaning toilets or showers yet. Shocker. Like bathroom cleaning, like there's not good ventilation and you get choked by the whatever scrubbing, whatever you're trying to get the scrubbing to do the scrubbing. Anywho, all right, Karina is down for any type of cleaning. What is the chore that you actually enjoy? Now I know I can set forth an army. Melanie, it's okay if you can't think of a chore that you love. That's okay. You guys, I got my shipment in today from Amazon. My friend went and picked it up from the freight forwarder that we have to use to get things, and I got new pens. I'm such a pen, like, hold on. There it is. Oh, I got them in different colors and I'm so freaking happy. Got some office supplies and I am now dangerous. I got colors and I'm new pens. I just got rid of all the pens I've been milking trying to get out. But these Uniball Vision needle right here. I love a Uniball Vision, but the needle ones are my new, that's my jam, folks. So loving it. So that's your pen, Melanie. I just was really excited that my box came from America. So they don't smear for me, but I'm right-handed. So I think it depends. They dry quick for me. So I'm not getting a smear, but sorry. Okay, what's going on in your fundraising life? What's going on in your chore life? Oh, you like the nails, Julie? They're going away. They're going away tomorrow. So say goodbye to holographic metallic cat eye silver. Yes, these were fun to have, but now I'm gonna do a new set. So what's going on? It's a full moon. So I don't know what happened to y'all, but today I left the house. I went and did my Pilates for an hour, sweated my tail off, grunted, made noises that, no human being should make. Sounded like a wildebeest. I came back and y'all, my email had darn near exploded. An hour, I was gone an hour and my email just threw up all over me. And so I got back on top. This afternoon, but it was bad today. So Jan, congratulations on your new job. Carissa is working on major gifts plan for your nonprofit. Excited to get thinking about this initiative. You haven't had a formal program like this. So Carissa, at the start of every major gift plan, you want to make sure that you've thanked and told them what their last major gift or gift did. So if you do nothing else, then say thank you, ask for feedback. That will get your new major gift program off to a really great start. So just a tip, people always say to me, I've just started my job as a fundraiser, or just started a new initiative. Start it out by thanking, and you won't have wasted your time. So very cool. Yep, can never thank. Julie says, finished a donor impact piece today. Super short-staffed, raced home. Oh, that's sweet. Raced home to catch this. A lot of people are short-staffed right now. So I'm going to give you the tip that we're giving everyone, and that's not just self-serving, and that is outsource. We can do it. Other firms can do it. Outsource. We can do it in less time than it takes a staff member, sometimes cheaper. Sometimes you just got to pull the button or pull the lever and outsource. So hopefully that will help you. Client with 2 related but different capital campaigns launching at the same time. Your side is the governance. Yeah, governance. I've been working on a lot of documents about gift acceptance lately. So that's an interesting one. Ashley's got our gigs board up there. If you're hiring, post your job with us. We're getting some really good results. We just had Ohio State post a slew of jobs with us. And we're going to be reaching out to talent management and recruiters in the industry, trying to get more postings for you guys, for you all out there. So, hey, Kim, UMass Libraries in the house. Kim just sent us some great things to work on. We also are, for the first time in a long time, doing a physical swap. So you know how we have tons of samples on our website? Well, we're going to do conferences in person, and so we need physical examples. So Ashley will post the address where you can mail or FedEx or UPS something to. We have a real address in real America. So if you want to ship us a package, we're accepting packages. And if you have extra points for laptop swag like stickers, because I got a new laptop and I have a new case and now I need new stickers. So if you want to send laptop stickers to that address, bribery is accepted. So I've got to replace all my laptop stickers, and I had some fantastic laptop stickers. So Margaret says, there's our address. DE&I question. Are you hearing conversations about whether or not to read native land statements? They may ring hollow if the statement isn't followed with retribution. And we're looking at changing ours. Margaret, that's a really great question. I'm glad you brought that up. Some of those in the States may be saying, what is a native land statement? It's something that's being done in Canada and the US a lot. Canada and Australia, not in the US a lot. And it's where they acknowledge where the land came from and who were the original residents of the land. I think it's really powerful. It has really changed my thought when I go into a meeting and someone reads the statement. But again, it's up to you and how you want to do that. So Alaska as well does that. Sorry about that. Cornell is including a land grant statement. I love that. I think like everything, if it's done well, it's a great idea. When it's done hollow and someone's reading a script without feeling and, it doesn't feel good and it just becomes part of the wah, 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 then it's probably not done in the most meaningful way. So, okay. So look, I made an assumption and was wrong. A lot of us in the States are doing it. Yay. If you haven't, so inside in my heart, I'm like a 90-year-old lady. I watch 60 Minutes. Do any of y'all watch 60 Minutes? Any of you guys watch 60 Minutes? If you didn't watch this section on Indigenous schools, residential schools in Canada, oh my goodness, I watched it and y'all, I bawled my eyes out crying. But then I learned a lot. And as someone who is very invested in ED&I and learning about history, Canada's grappling with a lot. So, Julie has posted Cornell's. Thank you, Julie. I love the sharing here. It's one of the things that we need to do. So I'm hearing it occasionally in the US, especially in Zoom meetings, tends to be awkward and a downer. So if we're calling it awkward and a downer, then we're not doing it right. So it should be a point of reflection and a point for us to acknowledge our privilege. So it's not about a downer to me. It's about recognizing our opportunities and that we've displaced other people. So when we do it right, I think they can be particularly powerful. So, and Ashley's also bribing you with a free registration for 4 Pillars Live. So, let's see. I'm going to scroll up and get some questions. Keep your questions, keep your thoughts coming. I love these lives. It's the highlight of my once a month Wednesdays. I'm watching the water sparkle today after 2 days of rain. And it's a good day because I get to be with all of you. Lauren asks, thinking about what best practices are for online giving forms. Funny you should say that. I think we have a webinar on that this year, but that is one of my sweet spots. It's one of my areas of expertise. So, Lauren, you have 1 click and 30 seconds to give a gift on this device. Oops, sorry, you don't need to see my notifications there. Let me clear my screen. So you have one click and 30 seconds. What do you that's how quick I have to be able to give a gift. So reduce, remove anything that doesn't have to do with processing my gift. Anything, any extra information. I'd be happy to review your giving website, Lauren. If you want to reach out, Ashley will post you an email address and we can walk through it live. But yeah, so very excited to talk about that. So yeah, quick, easy. I should be able to do that while driving a car, walking, going through a toll booth, eating a chicken biscuit, so it should be pretty easy to do. Melanie, I've switched from a 17-member university advancement department to a small nonprofit, LGBTQ plus focused with 3 employees. Woo, girly. Talk about wearing multiple hats. I'm loving it and having to look at everything through a priority lens. I'm working hard at making sure that donor relations stays in the top of our pyramid. So remember, Melanie, how will you prioritize whatever benefits the most amount of donors or the most amount of money? Those are 2 things that are a really good thing to help you prioritize. You're a 3-employee organization. So as much as you have passion for that organization, as you don't want to burn yourself and those other 2 people out. So be realistic, be compassionate, and make sure you're doing self-care as well. Jenny, we just received a donor's final gift, so their payment for their transformational donation. Our president and CEO is meeting with the donors in early April to update them on their impact. Just prior to that meeting, I'd like to send something to the donors to acknowledge their final payment of this incredible gift. I thought you or this group might have some stewardship ideas about what to send. Thank you. Jenny, do I have some ideas? Could you get a puzzle of a photo of something they made possible at your organization and send them the puzzle, and then the last piece would be signed by your president and CEO and say, we've put the final piece together thanks to you, something along those lines. That would be really great. Maybe it's the last piece in the puzzle and you send them, a puzzle piece that everybody's signed, or a puzzle, and then break it apart. I'm trying to think of, I don't know what the gift is for. So if you can give me some more information on what the gift is for, I could help you with that. But I think like so many things about completion come to mind there. So happy to help you. Yes. So let's see. Margaret posted the article from the conversation. Exactly, Margaret, why we're having trouble with those statements. I think we have to put information along with that. It's pancreatic cancer research and patient services. Okay, you're going to hate me for this, but you may not. I don't know. Maybe you send them the operation game or a human, an anatomically thing with the organs, and then the pancreas is the last one, and you send them the pancreas. I just think of Meredith Grey on Grey's Anatomy, and she had that doll with the organs in it. You could send them the operation game, and then is there a pancreas in the operation game, or is it just really weird bone things? Okay, I'll be quiet. I go wackadoo when it comes to, you could send them a chocolate pancreas, but is that appropriate? Probably not, because insulin and sugar and the diabetes and all that good stuff. A puzzle. Stick with a puzzle of a research lab or something along that type. I don't know. Maybe you could put a note on the back of every piece from someone who benefited or a researcher. All right. So you like that idea. Stick with that idea then. Okay. There's Margaret. There's Abby. Any tips for using ThankView to steward donors with planned gifts? Oh, Abby. Planned giving donors are some of my favorite donors to steward because most people make their commitment early, and then they give lots of cash gifts, and then their planned gift is realized. When you give money away, you live 7 years longer than those who don't give money away. So good tidbit for living long if you want to. And then, so ThankView is really powerful. And the best way to use ThankView is a one-to-one, right? Hi, this is Lynn. I just wanted to say thank you. So imagine if someone on your board could send a ThankView saying, I was so inspired by your planned gift. I wanted to let you know I myself have a planned gift to benefit the college, and they could, talk about that. I try not to do, over exploitation of those receiving the planned gift, right? So just something like that. The other thing you could do is for planned gifts. Now, this is what I want to do. I haven't done it yet, but ThankView has a great feature in it called video request. Imagine, so my parents, as y'all know, are very dear to me. Imagine if I got a request for a video saying, your parents have just made a big gift to the college. What would you like to say to them? And I would be like, Mom and Dad, I'm so proud, but why are you spending my inheritance? And, new pens aren't cheap. Just kidding. But I would imagine if you got a community of people to create a video saying how proud of that donor they were. Imagine if that happened. Like, I would be on my knees crying. I think that would be a great use of ThankView, is collecting videos from people and telling them how important they are to them. So that one, like, I was just with one of my clients today, and we were talking about $1 million and up gift announcements. And I find gift announcements to be, it is what it is. But I always take a gift announcement and I go to a family member or spouse of the donor, and I say, who would be proud who would be proud? So if it's Ashley, who would be really proud of Ashley for endowing this chair or giving this gift? And they say, well, it was her professor, or maybe it was her mom. And I always, at the gift announcement, try to have a person in the audience who can say to that person, I'm proud of you. And I just love that. So think about who would be proud of them for making that planned gift and have them record a video. Is that helpful, Abby? I hope so. I hope that answered your question, and you got some help there. Okay. Ooh, Lindsay, I love that. They partnered with local tribes in the area. They wrote their land statement, and it ends with a call to action to visit the land, right? You are invited to visit the museum and cultural center. I love that because it gives me an action I can take, and it includes me. I love that, Lindsay. Like, I would be all over that. Lindsay Brooke, I'd love to hear more about what new content is being shared at your March conference. Oh, Lindsay, we are going to go to Chicago, and we are doing the foundation of my work, which is the 4 pillars of donor relations. So acknowledgement, reporting, recognition, and engagement. We have completely thrown out our old slides and we've started over. So even if you took 4 pillars before, we've got new samples. Myself, Angie Jones, Matthew Helmer, and Sarah Sims are each taking a pillar and walking you through it. Now you can be there live in Chicago and experience it with us and eat some Garrett's popcorn and, have a good time with us. And we're going to do that in a safe way as we can. So masks and vaccinations and things like that. But if you can't join us in person, first time ever. So I got this idea. It was about 2:00 in the morning. I didn't text Ashley. I waited till the next day. I said, how on NBC, they're doing like The Wizard of Oz, but live. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I want to do DRG, but live. And she's like, what do you mean? So I reached out to my friends, Ron and his team at Wired Production Group, and they do all my big launch events and campaign close events. And they do virtual shows for me all the time. They did Alaska and Harold Grinspoon. So they are coming in and they are going to film us live doing 4 pillars, like mic'd up on camera, live streaming it. And you're going to have the chance to chat with us. Ashley's going to be there taking your questions live. It's going to be a hoot. It is going to be a hoot. And you can save $100 by going virtual rather than being in person, but no recordings, no webinars, just straight up live. And I guarantee you one of us is going to flub it up. There's going to be ridiculous snorting laughter, but the content. So that's day 1. And then day 2, we're doing behavior-based donor relations rather than amount-based donor recognition. So we're so excited to bring this to you. If this works, then we will do the same thing with our 4 pillars of donor experience conference, probably in 2023. The whole idea of doing the regional conferences is to have people come in person in small groups and experience it live, because then you get your personal attention. But COVID hasn't cooperated all year, so we've moved Sacramento back to June. We're flexing the way we ask you to flex with us, and so I'm going to try this live, and I guarantee everybody's going to have at least a good time, if not gain some nuggets. And if you don't want to do it live and virtual, fly over to London in July. We're at the end of July, we're going to London, England, and we're going to do a conference there. So if all else fails, just hop over the pond. But we'll be in Chicago. We're going to be in Houston with our brand new content, Donor Experience. We've never done it before, based on book number 2. And we're going to do that in Sacramento as well. And then we're looking for Boston and New York in the fall. If you know anybody in Boston and New York City that has space, we are looking for space. Space is hard to find in those two cities, but we are looking we are looking for space in Boston and New York City. So if you know anybody that has space that can sponsor us, we're there. Okay, enough for pitch for conferences. If you need more details, I'm sure Ashley has posted the website at least 3 or 4 times. So excited to have you live with us, but live. I mean, I think there might be sequence. Just so you know, I'm thinking there's going to be stage makeup and sequence. So, Katie, text to give, like, love, hate, best practices, things not to do. Not text to give, but text as a channel. Yes. So for example, today is one of my favorite clients ever's giving day. It's Whitworth University's One Pine Day. And they send a text and they do a great job at texting. And so we sent out a mailer this year that was a joy postcard, and it was, we're sending joy to you. Rip this bottom postcard off and mail it to someone else to send them joy. And so they sent me a text that said, have you checked your mailbox? We sent you a little piece of joy. And then they were reply, and they're like, thank you. By the way, our One Pine Day is coming up. Do you want us to remind you? And I said, yes. So today they said, hey, it's a joyous day. Would you, and they said, can I text you the link to learn how you can support Help a Pirate Meal Assistance? And I said, I made my gift this morning. And they said, thanks for making Whitworth students a joyful moment of your day. So not necessarily text to give like the Red Cross does it, because it's very successful for disaster, but it's not very successful for non-disaster. Instead, build a relationship with text. Use text as a channel. Okay? Fantastic way to do that. So just want to keep you up to date. Great question. Great question. Let's see. Bailey Daly. How many times do you recommend stewarding a first-time donor prior to solicitation? Great question. Penelope Burke is my guidance on this, and her surveys from donors say that donors expect to be thanked 7 times before they're re-solicited. Now, that's the holy grail. That's like the best you can do. I usually build 4 first-time donor touches in my first-time donor journey. So first is their receipt. So that's one, but there's no, that's one. Then they get an acknowledgement. So that's 2. Then they might get a postcard or a thank you. Then they might get a video or a handwritten note. Then they get an impact report, and then they get a happy anniversary. Thank you for giving to us. Very, very, very powerful, raises retention rates through the roof. Just a really brilliant way to do that. So Bailey, I highly recommend it. If you can't do 7, you do what you can do, and anything is better than nothing. Right? So anything is better than nothing. Okay. Let's see. Puzzle. Can't wait to see you at NATO. Oh, one of my so I told you guys, I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the year. I'm going to do some in-person peopling this year. So I went out in late January and did Case District 3. And I got to see mom and dad, which hugging my mom and dad. Woo. On March 9th, I leave and I'm going to Boston to do Case District 1 in Boston. And then I turn around and go to Dallas and do Case District 4. And then I'm got a personal trip in the middle. And then we're doing Chicago together. And then in April, I'm going to NATO and I'm going to do Houston. And then in May, I had the honor of all honors to be selected for so AFP Icon, the big international conference. We're going to Vegas, and so I'll probably have nails like this, and I'm going to Vegas for a week. So very excited. So I'll see you at NATO. Reach out. Maybe we can schedule a meal in advance or something, Sarah. Just let me know. Katie, we hold an annual recognition dinner. Oh boy, a deadly donor dinner? A rubber chicken dinner? We didn't do them, and we haven't thanked them since 2019. That's not true. I'm sure you thanked your donors. A deadly donor dinner isn't always the best way to thank your donors. How do we move forward for this year's event held in May? Well, we have a webinar for that, Katie. Next month, we're going to be talking about we're getting rid of the rubber chicken dinner. Ashley can fill you in on the details, but I wouldn't be going back to a dinner after 2 years away from it. I can tell you that. I'd be going to impact communications, all that stuff. But just because you haven't done the event doesn't mean your donors haven't been thanked. So remember, events aren't silver bullets, and less than 20% of our donors come to them. So don't knock yourself too hard. Lindsay, oh my goodness, Lindsay Okamoto, I haven't seen you in forever. You're at a very small patient-centered research foundation for pediatric genetic epilepsy. Wow. I'm doing all development, but because I come from stewardship, I'm using this as the center of all activities. Yay. My question, I'm putting together an impact report and hoping to make it web-based with videos, photos, and short narratives. Oh, are you using my favorite platform now for those? Is called Yearly, Yearly. Yearly. You can reach out to them and tell them I said hello. I think they're going to run a donor relations guru discount on their platform. I mean, you can do one report for free, but email them and say that Lynn Wester sent you, and they'll probably give you a discount for all their good features. Yearly. Ashley will probably post the link if I am symbiotic with her in my head. So I would do that. But any ideas on how to make it compelling? So the delivery mechanism is one thing, right? Make sure your subject line is popping. Make sure the website is beautiful and videos embedded in there. Did you guys see the Super Bowl ad where the company just did the QR code floating in the screen? Right? Did you see that? QR codes have had like a resurgence of their lives. And so I always like a multiple faceted impact report distribution. So anybody I have an email address for, I'm going to send them an email. Anybody I don't have an email address for, I'm going to send them a postcard with a bit.ly or a QR code, a small link. And then I'm going to do follow-up on those, maybe a resend. Maybe it's a call. I'm also going to embed my impact report in my website and other things like that. So, take chunks of that impact report, Lindsay, and distribute them out on your social channels as well. That's always very powerful. So you want to get it out there and get into folks' hands as much as possible. April. Any ideas what to call a scholarship event for top donors and student recipients? Mostly a thanks and networking event. I assume that the purpose of the event is for the student to meet the sponsor of the scholarship they may have received. First of all, I make sure it's a stand-up reception. Make sure the students know it's voluntary. Make sure you've prepared your donors. We're really, we're talking DE&I on Thursday, and we're moving away from those events and more to, maybe you could call it a student showcase, where you're showcasing your students and their brilliance. I don't think it should be centered around the donor as much as it should be centered around the students. So, maybe it's, give me a thesaurus for showcase, and I'll highlights, but it's not networking, right? It's not networking. Networking is when peers get together to exchange business information. So it's not that. Yeah, just be careful there. Be careful there. Laura, Mike, can you define the difference between donor relations, major gifts, and donor steward? Sure. A major gifts is the process by which a nonprofit organization requests funding from individual or corporate donors at what they consider to be a major gift level. At many institutions, that could be a level that would, it's not transformational or principal giving, but it would be something that would be significant to the organization. Donor relations is an umbrella term that encompasses 4 areas or 4 pillars of activity, and that is acknowledgement, stewardship, recognition, and engagement. And donor relations makes up the core of the activity that is non-soliciting and is there to provide accountability, gratitude, and transparency, access, information, and experience. Donor steward. Donor steward is not a term I use in my vocabulary because you don't steward a donor. You can steward wine or things like that. You could try to call the flight attendant a stewardess. That'll not go over well. But I don't use the term donor steward. Stewardship is one of the 4 pillars of donor relations. So I hope that helps, Laura. We have that information on our website. It's also available in any of our books as well to help you out. So thanks for the question. Hi, Lynn. Jen here. We want to share some of our donor stories, but are having a tough time finding donors that are willing to share anything publicly. Most have great things to say about the school and their reasons for giving, but they want to remain anonymous. Fantastic. Any ideas on how to change this culture? I don't know that you want to change that culture. First of all, what kind of donors are you asking? Are you only asking major and principal gift donors? Are you asking a first-time donor, a loyal donor, a legacy donor, or are your folks just humble as humble pie? I think there's nothing wrong. So you could say to them, well, we want to use your first name, not your last name. So maybe it's Sarah S. instead of Sarah Sims. You know what I mean? So, it's totally up to you in how you want to do it. But I don't necessarily know that that's something you want to change. And so just want you to think about that. So yeah. Good one, Jen. JJ, do you have any spring mailing appeal concept ideas for Community College Foundation? Well, what are you raising money for, JJ? I don't know what you're raising money for. So you don't send an appeal without a purpose, right? And so I would have to know, there's so many things you could raise money for at a community college. So I'd need to know, okay, so what is that? So yeah. Emily, do you know what text to give program that they use? They use Mongoose. Yeah, it's really great. It's not expensive at all. And it's very, very flexible. So I really like Mongoose. Joanne, I'm new in my position and your information has been information. Well, I hope it's been information. We try to provide information with a side of entertainment. So it's more edutainment, right? So yeah. Emily says that they've had good luck sharing their story under anonymous or changing their name and noting that the name has been changed. Yeah, I don't think you have to really, break their stride. JJ, annual fund. Okay, what is annual fund? I think you're misunderstanding my question. I'm so sorry. So if you want to build an appeal and you said, do you have any spring mailing appeal concept ideas? And you said the annual fund. What does the annual fund at your community college do? What am I funding? Am I funding meals for people who can't afford? What am I funding? Is it scholarships? Is it affordability? Is it DE&I? Everybody's annual fund funds something different. And if you're trying to raise unrestricted money, bless your heart, but that's not really going to work. I suggest project-based fundraising instead. But the annual fund has to mean something. So you can't just say, hey, give us $500. We know what to do with it. Your Joe and Jane donors aren't going to want to hear that. Annual fundraising is doing this, whereas restricted fundraising is doing this. So what is the annual fund? What does it mean? So at some institutions, the annual fund funds the development staff. At some institutions, the annual fund goes to scholarships. Sometimes it goes to HVAC systems. You got to give me why. So when I look at an appeal, and I get lots of appeals, and I write lots of appeals, and we work very hard with our clients on them, is why should I give? Why should I give to you now? And why your organization? So in the United States alone, there's over 2 million nonprofit organizations. Why should I give to your nonprofit organization? Why should I give to you now? And how is that meaningful to me? So today at Whitworth University is One Pine Day, as I've told you all. And so they have 14 different projects I could go and give to. Their projects are big and small. And they have a variety. Here's the post of where you can find them, from getting the cheer team new uniforms to providing access to the student pantry, to student scholarships. No matter what it is, I can help with that. So again, what is the purpose? What will my gift accomplish? What does the annual fund accomplish? And what is life with and without the annual fund? What's the difference between the two? So that's what I need to know in order to strategize a solicitation plan. And then, of course, where I give, you want to thank me in turn for where I gave. So if I gave to the library, you want to thank me for giving to the library. If I gave to, student hunger, you want to thank me for giving to student hunger, those kinds of things. So that's really what you want to focus on in your spring appeal. What other questions do we have out there? Thoughts? What's going on in your world? Did I miss something? I was scrolling, and sometimes I try to ignore Ashley's post. Ha ha ha. But what am I missing out there? What are you talking about in your shops? On Thursday, we're talking about hiring for diversity and equity, and we're very excited about that. Okay, Alex. We were informed that there was a 6.2 magnitude earthquake, oh boy, in Guatemala this morning. Oh no. Where we currently have a medical mission trip for our medical students. The faculty and students are okay, but what do you think about doing an appeal around this? Okay, so Alex, does your organization have a particular need do you need to get your students and faculty home? Are there emergency needs? Or would this be for the people of Guatemala? Or would this be for your organization because Guatemala is hurting? Those are the things you need to think about. So if you have an emergent need, so for example, when COVID hit on March 13th, 2020, a lot of us had students overseas, and we needed to get them home, back to their home campuses. And so parents and alumni and donors scrambled to get the money to put them on whatever plane could get them back, to their country of origin. That is a need where we needed to get those students home. If your students or faculty, the need would be for students to help with additional supplies for the people of Guatemala. That's not your mission, though. So to me, that's mission creep. So does that mean that every time there's a disaster where you have students that are working or volunteering or something, you're going to fundraise for that. So you're going to funnel that money through your organization to it. That just doesn't seem right. So what you could do is you could say, recently our students are in Guatemala, they experienced the earthquake. If you want to help those in Guatemala, here are links to organizations that are direct service to Guatemala. But you don't, you don't want to serve as a pass-through organization. You need the people of Guatemala need the money to go directly to the organizations that service that need. So whether it be Salvation Army or Doctors Without Borders or Team Rubicon or whatever, you could send a message that says, on behalf of our students, send help here. But we're not trained. That's not our role, right? We're not trained to do that. So I think it would be better to work with the organization that you're partnering with, that your students actually work with down there. So rather than take the money into your own and then redistribute it, because that's going to take a long time as well. So yeah, that's my advice. Sasha says this is a great happy hour, even with just coffee. That's okay. Put some Baileys in that coffee. I mean, if coffee is what you need, coffee's what you need. So I'm drinking water. I still have a couple more meetings today. So I'm not yet. Today's my big long day. So I'm not yet done with my day yet. I had a halfie yesterday. So, Stephanie, our team is currently rebranding our monthly donor program and executing a campaign around it. Any advice? The queen of recurring giving is Vicki Harrison. She teaches a class on it. She helped start Charity Water with her husband Scott. The other person is Erica Wasdorp, WASDORP. She's fantastic on monthly giving. You need a brand. You need a brand that's relatable. You don't want to name your brand. You don't want to name your brand after a person. Let's see. You want to make it easy and catchy. So the spring, anchors, the crew, like they're, but know that people want to give recurring, and then fly with it. Make sure that your online giving website is optimized to default to recurring monthly giving. Okay. Hey, Travis, the back patio looks great. Great job on the stone selection. Hey, Kevin, Los Angeles is in the house. Marissa, what would you advise to increase efficiency and centralize the donor thank you note process? What kind of donor thank you notes would you be doing? Like your acknowledgments? We have thank you as well, but how do you think it compares to the staff time and donor impact? I'm one person trying to centralize several hundred scholarship recipients. Oh, you mean you have students writing thank you notes to donors? Yeah, no, most of it. So remember, we're living in a new world. Students writing thank you notes to donors, that's not their job. Students sharing and partnering with us on impact, fantastic. So doing a video request with a thank you that says, hey, would you like to partner with us and tell a donor the impact of the scholarship you received? Yes. Telling the donor telling the student you need to thank a donor? No, that's not their job. Our job is to thank the donor. No. So what we do is we have students give us information so that we can share impact with donors, but I wouldn't make them thank the donor. That's our job. If you have thank you, then the video request feature is something donors love, receiving a video from the people who benefit from their scholarship support. So that's something that you could do, but I don't manage thank you notes from students to donors. That's something we discourage as part of our DE&I practices. It's not an equitable way. And we don't owe that to the donor. So something to think about. Yeah. Let's see. Eva, how do you define recurring donor? For me, it's probably monthly. I mean, technically, it could be once a year, once a quarter, to me, it's monthly. Absolutely monthly. So that's what I would do. But again, that's a narrow definition. Julie, you've talked about this a lot, but we have had to pivot an in-person event to virtual and plan to offer the same program. VP moderating students doing excellent work in the world. Just worried that folks are burned out on virtual and we have to do this. Any ideas to make it special on a shoestring budget? Yes. So it's okay. Virtual is okay. What are the unexpected moments? So it says VP moderating students. Can it be more of a fireside chat? Does it have to be so turtleneck wearing, not so fun? Can it be casual? Can they have like fun? Like, think of the actor's studio. Do you know what the actor's studio is? Where they bring the actor in and then the really distinguished guy asks them the same questions over and over and over again. Like, what's your favorite curse word? And then Robin Williams says cloaca, which is my favorite curse word. Like, could you do some things about how wonderful the students are? And then could you get personal and do some other more, like, what's their favorite thing in the cafeteria? Like, because remember, students are round, whole human beings. So, is there any way to throw a question to the audience and have the students take a poll, but keep it casual, keep it fresh, and keep some of it unexpected. So your VP probably wants to be uber scripted, but like the best stuff online is fresh and unexpected, and just really trying to keep it new. The other thing is turn the tables. Have each student ask the VP one question. See what happens, right? Have a little fun with it. Again, I think some of us are missing fun in our lives. So, yeah. Annie, how do I define top donor? Very carefully, Annie, very carefully. If we wanted to give special attention to the top 2% of our donors, what definition would I use? Top lifetime, top giving over the past few years. So here's what I do, Annie, to define top donors. Number one, I figure out how many of these top donors can we plan for. One FTE, full-time equivalent, can usually only manage 25 donors from a stewardship and donor relations perspective. So you need to know how many resources you have dedicated to this. Then we pull a list based on lifetime total cumulative giving and any pledges or prospective giving and any ratings or rankings about propensity for the future. And then I sit down with the principal or transformational gifts team and I say, rank these. Do you know what I mean? So rank these in order of importance, knowing that the whole point of donor relations is to not just thank and give impact for past gifts, but to spur future giving. So if that person is tapped out, if they don't have future giving, if they're not in a great place with the institution, like all of that needs to factor in. Never have I ever pulled a list and just said, we're going straight down the list. There's always other factors involved. So I would say that at most institutions, depending on your size, you're talking 25, maybe 30 people. I always start with 5. Give me the top 5. And here's what I say. Most important families to your organization. Think intergenerational. Think, family structure there. So that's what I would use. Yeah. Really great question. Emily, how are people finding out about when their donor's birthday is? Most of us have that in our database. If we don't have that in our database, you can actually go out and do screenings for that information. when you do your record screening. Most of them will come back with a donor's date of birth. You'd be amazed at what is not hidden out there in the real world. But most of us have the donor's birthday in our database. You can also find out by asking them and then storing it in the database. But yeah, most of us have those. A lot of us are in higher ed, so we get their donor birthday from their student birthday. And so they go. If not, ask someone. For example, if you asked my dad when his birthday was, he'd tell you, and then he'd go, I'm 85 years old. I don't do birthdays anymore. So this year, in a month and 10 days, my dad's going to turn 86. We're not doing a big birthday celebration for him. He's cool. He doesn't want that. Whereas me, I'm like, October 17th, I celebrate my birthday the entire week and almost all of the whole month. And if you don't tell me happy birthday, I cut you off from my life and banish you forever. So everybody's different. Everybody's unique, right? So remember that some people celebrate, some people don't. It's a great piece of information to know. So yes, intergenerational stewardship. If you have people of wealth in your database and they have children that are in their teens, now is the time to do intergenerational stewardship, right? So those children of wealth, or cows, as we call them, at 18, they get the rights to vote for the foundation. So if you're waiting until they're 25 or 30, you've waited too late. So you need to steward the whole family, grandparents, parents, cousins, everybody involved, because that family, more often than not, especially families of high net worth, makes the decision together as a family. I have a friend, and his entire business is working with super high net worth families and their private foundations and helping them decide where to give their money. And he says there's always a champion, but the family is making the decision together as a family. So intergenerational wealth is so important. We started the day by talking about what chores do you like to do. Remember that self-care, while sometimes it can be considered a chore, is important for you. That compassion and grace for others is a gift you can give to everybody. It's a full moon, so you can howl at the moon, you can be kind. I'd love for each and every one of you, as we end today, to go into your inbox and pull out a random person and just send them a note about what you're grateful for them about, or what they've done recently that has made you happy, and send a little bit of gratitude before you end your Wednesday, or at least before you end your week. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you who join me and spend your time learning and sharing. Again, you can reach out to us at info@donorrelationsguru.com, and hopefully you'll join us either Thursday or at one of our lives. Thank you all so much, and have a great day.